What up? What it do? What it do? What it do? We back with it. We back with it. Talking about some deep awakening. I got my tea. I got my stage. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna spark that up because Lord knows, well, I know that they don't like when we talk like this or when we vibe like this. Let me get EJ up into the chat line. Hey EJ, if you're here, send a request so I can put you into it. Man, I be going to war out here before I go on live every time with you guys, because when I come out, it be mad hornets out here and shit. Like, I literally be putting my life on the line to talk to y'all about this shit. Let me know when you sent the request, EJ. What's up? What's up? What's up? I'm just waiting for my boy EJ to get up on here, and we're gonna start the chat. We're gonna start talking about these topics. I think today is gonna be a good one because a lot of people don't know what's really going on, sadly, or they don't care to what's going on. I hit a point where I think I've hit enough research to actually explain this stuff in perfect detail. So we're gonna get it going once I get EJ up in here. Share it, you know what I mean? If you fuck with me, you fuck with me. If you don't, you don't. I speak nothing but truth, you know what I'm saying? I'm an average man outside of here, but who I am is something way more than anybody can fathom. And it's a lot of you guys that are like that. You feel it, you know it, but you're being suppressed purposely, you know what I'm saying? Hey EJ, you are you in here, bro? What's going on, man? There we go. Now he's here. I'm gonna back up some because when we join together for some reason it brings my face super close, like super close. EJ,
Yo,
all right, what's going on?
shit, trying to get my phone situated real quick. Hold on. Motherfucker. I'll have to do it like this. There we go. There we go. All right. Brother, I don't know if I appear sideways properly on the thing, but my phone's sideways.
All right, man. As long as people get the message, it's really all we care about. You know how we do. So
100%.
I'm gonna light my sage before we have this conversation, because you know it's the one who we think is here to save us is actually the one attacking us at the same time. So let me just clear my energy. You know what I'm saying?
I hear that.
So what I was discovering, right? If anybody who is watching this live, if you can, EJ, write in. Can you type? Matter of fact, I'll type it in. I'll type it in on here.
All right.
I want everybody to look up this
Turn up
word that I'm
light.
typing in. So that word I just typed in in the convo into the chat. I need everybody to look up that word demiurge. Demiurge. It's and I'll explain it to you guys in my format that you guys can look it up and understand exactly what I'm saying. So what a demiurge is, right? Is it's a person that's subordinate to the original creator, right? And basically, what it does is it causes someone, say you create something and somebody don't know how you created it, but they feel some type of way because they can't create it. That's what a demiurge is. So basically, this is where the creation story starts. All right, this is a person who can't be your physical or your spiritual, so he makes everything materialistic. So instead of you giving your power within, you give your power to everything that's materialistic. This is why everything in the world resembles what you could do as a human being, but they make it in a materialistic way to basically handicap you. So basically, if they can't be you, they'll make something to control you. You guys see how our world is nowadays. Like basically people control you because they can't have you in the full capacity that they want you. You know what I'm saying? So demiurge is one of those. Basically somebody who comes to something natural and turns it all into material. And this is why most people are becoming materialistics and they're losing themselves. Now, Zeus, I'm pretty sure a lot of people have heard of Zeus. You see what I'm saying? Zeus is a Greek god. If you do any type of research from everything that becomes that's allowed in religious in today's time, it's from Greece and Rome, right? Greece, Rome, and Italy, basically Europe uh, uh, or Rome, Greece, however you want to look at it. These are areas that they allow certain prophecies or certain scriptures, right? They're not telling you about everything that got deleted or burned or hashed or what was going on before time. This is the propaganda that they have us sticking to now. So we actually wait for a savior instead of saving ourselves. We actually put accountability out on something that doesn't exist so we won't take it in on ourselves. You feel what I'm saying? So Zeus is a person that's in power. He's basically the demiurge, right? He's a person that basically wants to be everything that you are that they are not. You feel what I'm saying? The more power you give, you guys think hell is actually below you. It's not. It's actually, I know this sounds crazy, but it's actually above you. What is the purpose of gravity? Think about it. What is the purpose of gravity if it's not to hold you down? You feel what I'm saying? If this was for example, if this was a tree, right? It's rooted. It don't matter what way it turns, right? It's gonna have the same form. But without gravity, that don't work for us. We're gonna fall. You get what I'm saying? And this is where people they think they're praying and they're sending their prayers up, but they're coming back and they're getting materialistic. They're getting materials. You feel what I'm saying? So they're praying. They're praying. God, please help me get this job or whatever, right? And then it comes back to materialistic form. It's not coming in a form of a way that makes you feel some type of way. This is why people got to wake up and realize, like, it's not what you think it is. You feel what I'm saying? What's right is left. What's down is up. What's up is really down. There's waters between waters, right? And we're just an air bubble between those waters, but we don't understand what direction we're actually really facing, right? So a lot of people don't. You can see who's controlled by these processes. They never met this thing. They never believed in these things, right? Well, in themselves. But when it comes to actually wanting or getting certain things, you realize they always go outside themselves to get it. God help me get this job or whatever. Materialistic. God, please help me get this car. Materialistic. It comes in those blessings, but that's not what matters. You feel what I'm saying? That's not what you could take with you. That's not what's going to keep you feeling happy. That's not what's going to keep you feeling sustained. So a lot of people have to wake up and realize that you have to tap into your power and you have to kick back to what's natural so you can earn the gifts of actually things that make you feel that if you had a box of blessings, it's in nature. You feel what I'm saying? It's not going to be a materialistic thing. So look up the word. If you're seeing this chat now, look up the word demiurge. Demiurge is something that actually is a person that comes to something natural and he turns it into something materialistic. You do not want to be a materialistic in these times. I'm telling you right now. I should like my stage as I keep going on because, like I said, this topic it brings up certain things that a lot of people don't want to admit. You know what I mean? I tell people do your history, not your religion, because if you understand, we putting all our power in one person and we forgot about our whole ancestry line, right? We don't think about our ancestors and our family down the line and down the line, down the line. The only time we do is in a memory. You feel what I'm saying? The only time you think about that is when a memory hits you. We are in a time now where all the people who could do something about us and in our family lines and keep us together, We don't think about them. We don't think that they have any absolute power at all. You see what I'm saying? We think they're in heaven. If you read the Bible, right, it says that not everybody, even still to this day right now, are not in heaven. It says they're waiting in Sheol. So even here, you're waiting for Jesus, and even after you die, you're in Sheol. It's Seol, if I'm correct, right? Or Sheol, Sheol, right? You're waiting in there, and they're even still waiting for Jesus to return and open up the gates, right? Just an on looping cycle of captivating things, right? You had Zeus, back to Zeus. You had Zeus Network, right? Zeus Network was the first thing that caused this big chaos and this big division on if the male and females were fighting, it's times 10 when Zeus Network came out, right? Everybody started drinking more, everybody started smoking more, everybody started clubbing more. We have more city girls, you know what I'm saying? It causes a big distraction. So now we're at a point now where if you look up the information on Zeus Network, they had people actually dying on the show, right? And they finished out the show, and those people had already passed. If you do your research inside the show, there's a lot of people who were telling you that people were being sacrificed during the show, right? Now, if you look up on what they were saying in every topic, they said that those people that Natalie Nunn was recruiting people so they could serve Zeus. They were serving a Greek god, Zeus, right? Oh, hornets! I told you I'm risking my life out here for y'all. but yeah, they're serving Zeus, right? So when they came out with a show after that on Netflix, it's called The Son of Zeus, right? Then they came out with another show and it's called Chaos, Kaos, right? And how it worked is the people, if they didn't praise or give thanks to this God and his families, which is Zeus, right? He basically he either took materialistics from them or he either killed them. That's how it worked, right? They had an elixir, and how the elixir was working was basically they couldn't keep anything that kept them alive for years on years on years on out without this elixir, without this formula, which came from us. What what people need to stop and start asking and questions is, what is God without me believing in it? And why does it take this to come out of me for it to exist? And why am I always asking and begging instead of going and getting? This is what people really need to start understanding or understanding, because you don't want to be under nothing. This is what you got to start understanding. You feel what I'm saying? We are at a level right now where most people are waking up and they're tapping back into that power that they've already had years on out. Everybody had that one grandmother before these hospitals. We always had a grandmother who knew how to do herbs. We always had somebody in the family who knew that somebody was going to be special. We already knew that somebody had power at this point in time. Now it's so bad, nobody understands what the fuck is going on or what happened. So, EJ, do me a favor, right? Explain to me, because you know there's people that have a certain what. Let me just ask you like this: what will happen if we all came together, right? And we just stop working for their corporation? Give me an idea of what will happen.
Well, basically, if we were all to just go back into the basic fundamentals of survival, right? As a people, and no longer doing the mundane 9 to 5, doing the day-to-day grind, and we just came together. We grew our own crops, did the things that mattered the most, which was just surviving and living with oneself, and reconnecting, like regrounding ourselves, being out in nature, and doing exactly what we were meant to do, which was to progress in a spiritual matter, in the sense of growing and reconnecting. Now, with that being said, if we started doing that and everybody collectively started at the same time and was like, okay, let's say Connecticut, Springfield, and all of the Northwest and Northeast and South and like in all of the East Hemisphere, right? All collectively said, "Fuck this, we're done." At some point, like if a lot of people got behind it, the government would shut down and basically call martial law, because they would say it would be an uprising, or it'd be a terroristic um, uprising. It would be at some point it would turn into a civil war, and that's when people would realize, like, oh, there's really some truth behind this, because if we all stopped collectively, all companies, all organizations, and all people that have physical and materialistic things that they survive off of, and basically they have this mindset of consumption, right? The United States is not a country; it's a corporation. If you look up the United States and what it is, it literally says the United States a corporation. It doesn't say United States country; it's literally a corporation. Um,
Exactly.
and if you and then if you also look into it as well, that every single person that has a social security and a birth certificate, you are tied to the corporation. You are not a United States citizen. You are a part of a corporation of the United States. Basically, is that you're no longer a living being based off of, you are basically uh, nowadays you are you're a modern day slave to a corporation that you work and make move, right? Between the truck drivers, warehouse workers, trash collectors, all everybody that has a job, right? That's all part of the whole system. It's a giant collective network.
Yep.
And if you also look at how everything is done, it's a network system. Between the houses are laid out, piping, everything. Everything looks like a grid, and everything is a grid, because you have to build and do stuff off of what is the foundation of creation, right? And when you put all of the collective people that are used and pushed onto the agenda of keeping everything running off of the people that already have an established power, wealth, all of this stuff, and you collectively stop altogether, it shuts it all down. And then now you put their livelihood, you put their shit into jeopardy, and now they no longer have control over the people that make things move. Um, and it could go even deeper into the sense of, like, the being distracted, not being, uh, you know, tied to all of this shit that you see on TV, right?
Right.
Where they are pushing the agenda. So if everybody that understands that you have the ability to create your own reality, you have the ability to manifest things into your life. If you focus and put the work in, you take the time, you manifest it by, I don't know, if you're the type of person that writes shit down, or if you're the type of person that before you go to bed that you say I have this, and you basically you chant it or you manifest it in whatever way that makes it work for you, whether it be a vision board, I don't give a fuck what it is. That is a form of creating something from nothing. You are manifesting a physical reality out of nothingness. So things just don't appear. You have to attract something into your life, whether it be a house, the new job, you know what I mean? Whatever the case
Exactly.
may be. So, like, when the point that you had made was the fact that you were saying, oh, that when you pray to Zeus or you pray to God or this and that you're praying without outside of yourself. And if you also look into the Bible, it also says that the physical reality and the things that are not meant for men are dwelled within the beast himself, or it's his domain, right? So you are praying to a beast to give things that you want in your life, right? So when you say, "Oh God, I need money," or "I need this," or "I need that," and then it happens, you get it. You got physical things from the same person you're praying to. That's also his domain, right?
Exactly. It's
So
in
when
his
you
realm.
give when you give when you give your energy, your time, and you give your prayers and your thoughts to one individual that did not create all of everything, because the creator is everything and nothing at the same time, but you understand that there's elements, there's different things to life, and that there's multiple creators to make peace, balance, in existence, to have the existence, right? Like, there's natural things that happen in this world that are meant to happen to have a death and a rebirth, and you see that it's a natural order to things, just as it was millions of years ago, between our ancestors and all that other stuff. They were connected, right? Just
Right.
like with this whole bullshit, what I was telling you earlier about this Yellowstone, right? It's constantly being put on the feed. It's constantly putting out in the airways. So people that are all creators, whether they realize it or not, subconsciously or consciously, you are basically pushing the agenda that you want it to happen. Whoever is trying to push the agenda to have it happen, that if you get enough people that are consciously or unconsciously creating an outcome that will happen, because we are creators in our own right. Because if you're made from the creator himself, that means that you have the same ability, not to the full extent, but you have the same ability of what God has, right? He created life. We create life all the time. You get a woman pregnant, you just created a baby. You created life. You also are able to create your own outcomes in your life. So at the end of the day, in our divine right, in our human right, and as the sense of spiritual beings inhabiting a physical body to experience a physical reality, you have the ability to create what happens and what comes into your life and what leaves. You have that ability. With
Hey,
that
so
being said, right? With that being said, so now you have the agenda being pushed. Now you have these expectations of, like you were saying, that they're like, oh, they're gonna. How do they keep? They can't be us, but they could utilize us and use and manipulate to make their agenda, to make their reality happen for them by
thank you.
using the people that have the ability to create. So you keep the mundane 9 to 5. You put the low income. You got all this drama. You got all this chaos. You got all these things that you want to keep going. So what do? You keep putting certain systems in place to make sure that it maintains that way, that the stigma stays, that these people are seeing and creating subconsciously or unconsciously all at the same time. And no one is realizing what's going on. Then you manifest and like, oh shit, hit the fan. And you're like, oh, why is this happening? This is crazy. Blah 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 blah. And it's like, well, you remember like 2 years
It's
ago,
what
and
you
everybody was seeing
manifested.
it, and everybody's like, oh, this is going to happen. It might not happen months. It might not even happen a few years. It might take 3 to 4 years before something actually happens. But it's the manifestation, it's the power, the energy, and the intent behind what everybody's seeing. So everybody has the same reaction or the same concept, like, oh, this is happening, these is crazy, the animals are fleeing, they know better than us. And it's like all of this doctrination of like what we know, what to believe, and how the system works is all part of the overall game. So when you look at it in a much more broader perspective, you get to start seeing shit. You're like, what the fuck? Like, that's not how that's supposed to be. That doesn't make any sense, right?
Now,
Like the same concept that if you had a helicopter, right? Because we're supposedly a giant fucking space ball spinning thousands of miles an hour in space around the sun that's moving even faster, and we're doing rotations around the sun, and it takes 365 days to go a complete rotation around the sun, and it's 24 hours for the Earth to make a full rotation, and we're just hurling through space. But explain to me how 10 million years ago, a thousand years ago, to a million years ago, that the stars are still in the same position.
thank,
They
thank
haven't moved. They
you,
haven't
bro.
changed. Then at the same time, you have a helicopter that could just hover. It's no longer on the ground, and it can stay there for an hour, and it will drop down to the same place it just took off. It's not going anywhere. Like if the world was moving around us, that helicopter would not be touching down in the same fucking spot.
At all, at all.
There's
And
things
this,
that people. This is the thing. There's people that watch and see this shit. They're like, oh, that's normal. It's because we're ignorant and uneducated, because we don't realize, like, at the end of the day, subconsciously we know, like, that's not right. If they're saying all of this and then this is happening right in front of me, that shouldn't be happening.
and how they tell us on the news, right? How they when they say something's on the news, they play with it. They'll be like, "Oh, it's gonna be a big catastrophe!" Ha ha ha! They start making jokes. They're dead ass serious. That's what people don't understand.
They put
We're
it through.
it's like the
Yeah.
Joker effect. The Joker effect. He's so smart, but he's
I mean,
loony at the same time, right?
you do realize, like, I mean, like I told you last time, when they use animation, they use TV shows and stuff that people normally don't watch, like The Simpsons, right? Simpsons is still notoriously. It blows my mind that people still don't just get it. That The Simpsons always predicts, always puts out there before it happens, right? the galactic law, or however way you want to look at it, at the law of the universe is that you have to tell the people that are not participating that something will happen before it happens. Rather, and they never specify in how you're supposed to tell them. But as long as you put the information out there that you had said it and you had broadcasted it, you hit millions of people, and it's out there for everybody to see. They told you. So when it happens, you can't sit there and say, well, I didn't know. Well, it's like, wait a minute. Well, we did tell you, we just put it on this channel or we put it on this TV show, and we put it out in several different meanings in several different ways between comedians, kids' cartoons, adult animations,
Book.
and soap operas, all this, whatever the fuck it may be. It
Right,
was
right.
out there, the airways. It was out there for people to see. Now, if people are not picking up on it and not paying attention and they ignore it, well, guess what? You're the ignorant dumbass that decided to say, wait a minute, that doesn't seem right. That's just a little too fucking on the nose. That just seems like they're just trying to tell me some shit that already happened or is going to happen.
You know what's weird? You know what's weird, EJ, right? They be like, oh, God has the power of this and this and that, right? My
Well,
thing is,
he has the power.
Trump is about to put a golden firmament. He about to put a golden frame around the firmament. Now,
No, all he's doing
here
is
is the open
so
proof. Here's
you
the
know what
open
he's doing,
proof,
right?
though, right? Here's the open proof. How can now that's God? This is God's creation, right? But yet a
Yep.
man is manipulating it. How could you see what I'm saying? People don't really stop and think and be
So,
like, wait a minute, maybe the power is not in what we think it is. You know what
so
I'm
you got to
saying?
remember. So you got to remember it, right? For you, so if you look at it within this, right? Because God was never a physical being; He was a spiritual being. He's everything and nothing at the same time, right? And I truly believe that
Right.
because for great power
Some people
you have to have two of the lesser evils, right? You have to have a yin and a yang. You have to have a dark and a good. Now, at the end of and then that's to keep balance, and that's the same concept of life and death, right? It's all part of the same process. It's all part of the same bullshit. So when you look at this motherfucker, he's like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna turn the firmament gold." It's like, no, motherfucker, what you're doing is you're throwing gold flakes. What they're doing is they're putting gold, right? Because if you take basically, it's I it would be basically a spray, and the gold particles are so small because gold it naturally reflects light, but it's also a good conduit. It basically gold can is used. They found it in the pyramids. They used it. The tops of the pyramids were actually solid gold, and that was because they were a great source for conducting electricity and storing it. Um, and of a bunch of other bullshit. But basically, with the last conversation we had, remember I was telling you that the Earth is it's very powerful. It has a lot of chaotic energy, and that how do you harness the sun's power? Right, and how do you keep the people that are going to be exposed to this giant sun that's supposed to be releasing a bunch of fucking energy that's going to enhance everybody that's connected to the earth and it's meant to heal and waken up and to start doing all that shit? Well, what do? Oh, you block it, you temporarily block it. And how do you do that? Let's put some gold up in the atmosphere so that way this firmament's gold, and now the sun's rays are not as beaming down on the earth as much, and now the earth is a little bit more cooler, and it's not as as uh as dangerous.
Yeah, it's reflecting. It's absorbing, but it's also reflecting it away, so it's not penetrating as hard as it should. This is why they're trying to slow that the coronal mass injection from happening. I
That's
keep
yeah,
telling people they don't understand that shit. Like, if you can't, they're like this. If we can't have the sun and we can't harness it, we're gonna take the people who have the same components of it and harness them. So the way that we move is the way that the universe moves. There's so many people who are coordinates to the universe, and they don't understand that. So like I was saying, for example, right? When you have what to put it in short terms, what people don't understand is we are actual believers. You feel what I'm saying? Everything that we believe in has some type of power to it, right? That means it exists because we can think of it and hold it in our minds and hold it in our hearts. So if you get, it's like this. Imagine me finding a group of believers, right, that are original to this planet, right?
yep.
And then their belief was in them being right to because they were the components of like say the sun, the moon, the stars. By them being who they were and how they act accordingly is how the universe act accordingly. So somebody said, okay, we can't control this big thing, so let's control the people, right? Now you got all the people and you put them all in one little box, right? And they don't know themselves, they can't think of themselves outside of that box, right? Once they're controlled inside of that box, anything you tell them, it happens. This is where television comes in, television, right? This is where
Yep.
radio comes in, tune and frequency, right? This is where social media comes in, right? Instead of you being in person, you can only be behind the camera, right? That's why I was telling people like they for example, I seen plenty of times where they said the forecast said, oh, it was gonna rain, right? But there was a football game that day, right? And it didn't rain because everybody didn't have their minds on it. You know what I mean? Like the Super Bowl or something like that. So we get
And
to
you know, and this is another thing too. So, um, it's all about the fact that like people have said, oh, you can't trust the media, you can't trust the news, you can't trust this, you can't trust that, and there's certain things that are said. There's phrasing that has been put out in this world that's always been said generation after generation after generation, right? That
right,
everybody knows the meaning behind it, but doesn't know the origin of why, right?
correct,
That when, like a prime example, when you eat pork, right? The definition of swine is filth, right?
yep,
Point blank, it's filth. So when somebody calls a pig a swine, is because it's a filthy animal. It eats filth. It sleeps and rolls around in its own filth. So that is a swine. So then when you consume that swine, you are what you eat. You become filthy. You become sick. You become groggy. You start to develop diseases. Now you have worms. You got all this other parasitic bullshit in you. Because why? You decided to eat the one thing that is definitionally called filth, right? So then
literally,
you sit here like, oh, why in the fuck am I all fucked up, this and that, whatever. And that's just one example. Like, and it's a decent one. And at the same time, that those pigs, like pigs, are the closest thing to a human, in the sense of like organs and just overall of like internal and the structure is the closest thing to a human that you can get, right? In the sense of like trying to do organ transplants and stuff like that, and they're literally still doing that to this day. They're using pigs to house and grow, organs for transplanting and stuff like that because they're able to do so without the it rejecting it. Um, but to get to what my point was, there's certain sayings, phrases, and stuff that are done, and when nothing is said and nothing is done purposely, everything has a purpose behind it. And when you have the intent, the ability, and the understanding of what it is that you're trying to put out there, you have to be careful on what you say, especially with the English language, right? Because the English language is another crazy thing where you spell, right? When you spell words, what does a witch do? She casts what? Spells. So when you're writing and spelling something, that's that's it's the same way. It's the same thing. So when you take a vision board and you're writing down your wishes, your wants, you are you are factually putting spells down to manifest into your reality because why? You are a curator. You have the ability to host your own energy and manifest it and call out to the universe to say, I deserve this, I want this, I need this, and it's going to manifest in ways that you didn't think it will happen, but it will. It will appear, it will be there, and then you are going to sit there and be like, oh, my life is amazing, things are going amazing. But then once you start fucking up and you don't continue to give thanks, you don't continue to, you know, understand that your ancestors, your passed over loved ones, all of these people that have come before you have laid the groundwork, have put the blood, sweat, and tears in their lives down, and that it's up to you to continue to uh you know keep that momentum going, right? Because you have to create the
Exactly.
generational wealth, you have to create the generational knowledge and understanding of what this world is really meant for. And it's to be able to control and manipulate the energy that's within you and with it outside of yourself. So at the end of the day, it all comes down to the same source, and it's one with self, because the temple of God lives within you, not outside of yourself. It's not in the fucking sky. It's not in the fucking ground. It's within you. So that, and God says that you are my. I created you in my image, right? So
In
and he
our
goes,
image, so there was
our
multiples in
image,
our
right? So,
image.
exactly. So, but the thing is like he says, and I dwell within you. Each and every of my children I dwell within. So that means that he resides within yourself and not outside of yourself. So you cannot connect to a God that doesn't live with outside of you.
It's
Who are you going to
impossible.
connect? How can you? So the only God you connect to is the God that's outside of yourself. Would be the one that was cast out of the realm, right? The
Yep,
realm
exactly.
within yourself. You cast that evil out of you, or out of oneness, if you will. So
Yep.
Zeus would be what you're referring to. Um, that's the physical realm. He was too consumed by physical reality and physical wants and needs that, like, oh, this is such a beautiful way of living, blah blah blah. But in reality, it's like it was just about control, and that the lack of control that he had, so he rebelled, right? And those he took with him, blah blah blah, whatever. Who gives a fuck?
Right,
The
right,
fact
right.
is that
Control and manipulation.
when you have a true connection with God, you have to look within yourself. You have to take care of yourself physically, mentally, spiritually, and you have to eat right. You have to exercise. You have to do all these things that are gonna matter, bro. And that's you know
It's like
what.
this. If I tell you I put the power, if I told you I put the power in this water bottle, why would you go and drink from a different cup if I told you that the power is in this water bottle? You feel what I'm saying? This is what
Yep.
people are literally doing. They're
With
not
this,
getting the fact that the power is in them. Like this is where the highest supreme or creator has told you the power lies in. And everybody's
yep,
ignoring themselves instead of actually grasping what their purpose is and where it's at. If I say it's here and it's inside of you, that is where you actually get the shit from. There's a
yep,
reason why people don't understand that we're the only people that we're chemically imbalanced. We're the only ones that our diet is fucked up. We're the only ones who have history that is erased from us. Yet you
yep,
see there's people with that certain history and that knowledge and they live a great life. But it's certain
exactly.
individuals. You feel what I'm saying? It's not as
Now
many.
check this. And check this too, right? Like, so if you look at like black people in general, even Hispanic, black, whatever. When you
Same
look
shit.
back, you try to find their origin, where they came from. It goes so far back to the lineage of the ancestors and shit, and they don't know where the fucking origin point, where it started, like where did the fuck they came from, right? But they can pinpoint where the certain humans developed from Homo sapien or cavemen. And the thing is like, if that was the case, and it was a video I watched that made a good point, like if we evolved from apes, then why is there still fucking apes on the planet?
Exactly.
Make that
Makes
make
no
fucking
fucking
sense.
sense.
You know what I mean? It's
Makes
like
no fucking
if we
sense.
evolved, why in the fuck are these apes not evolved yet? What happened? They just decided to skip that fucking shit. It make no sense. So at the end of the day, like, I look at it like you have to be open minded, but at the same time, like, stop being naive. Like, yeah, you might sound crazy, you might look fucking crazy to other people, but guess what? You might sound or look crazy to other people because they're narrow minded. They're not opening up their way of thinking and looking at the bigger pictures. Like, stop being lied to and just take your pride, put that shit aside. The fact that you're being laughed at or you feel ashamed or whatever the fuck it is, throw that shit away. None of that matters. What matters is that you are taking care of yourself, you are reconnecting to your higher self, and you're reconnecting to oneness with the world around you. Because at one point, bro, like, when you leave, there's not going to be nothing left besides what you have
Besides your
done.
memories and experience, that's the only thing that you could take with you when you die is your memories and experience. You
So
can't take the car, can't take the money, none of that.
if you leave this world ignorant and blind, you are going to go into the afterlife with nothing, because you're not going to be able to move forward. You're going to have to
Yep.
come back. and learn all over again. It's the wash, rinse, and repeat cycle, bro. And you have to educate yourself spiritually, not and mentally, but it's a very spiritual journey. Our ancestors did it. The Native Americans did it. The Aztecs, Incas, all of these people, bro, they were connected to source. They were connected to the earth. They survived off of the earth. And there's certain movies that predict like that dictate, oh, not dictated, but um, illustrated what it was like to be connected, right? And the perfect movie I like to use all the time is Avatar. They
Oh
show
yeah,
me, bro, those massive trees, those world trees, like we had that conversation before where the world tree or is not, or the tree of life.
yeah.
The fact that it's called that is because it was able to maintain and abstain life for people to live, creatures to live in it. It wasn't the fact that it gave life. It was able to maintain life for
Hmm.
long and generations of periods and decades
And all
and
the
centuries.
ancestors were rooted to it.
Correct. So that, and you got to remember, there's generation after generation after generation born from the so-called trees of life, but it was the fact that they lived where life was abstainable. They were able to maintain a way of living. So when you watch the Avatar movie and they shoot down that tree, right? And they were like, "Oh, we're cut off from source." Oh, it's because those roots went deeper than any other tree. It was grown and it was there longer than any other tree. And the thing is, if you look at and you can do research, you can Google this. Anybody that's watching this shit, why don't you look up some mountain peaks? If mountains are flat like this, and then mountains don't do this, they don't concave like that. If you look at the roots of trees and you look at the base of a tree, the tree trunk at the bottom starts doing this. And you could also see petrified wood actually turns into stone. And it's crazy. There's so much shit you can look into, and you realize, like, bro, this was us. This was at some point there was a world war that was beyond any world war that had happened. It wiped out 90% of civilization, and it was only left with only a little left of the native people and the people that came, right? And they took down those trees. They took down all of our resources, and all we were doing was trying to live in peace and harmony, right?
Hey, now
So
to prove something, EJ, right? Now, what nobody questions, right? Now, this is something that's funny to me, right? Our ancestors, right? Not
yeah,
only have they been buried for thousands of years, 3,600 years beyond, maybe 6,000 years beyond, right? They're in the
yep,
pyramids, they're in tombs, they're in all types of shit, in stones or whatever, right? This is 3,600 years ago, right?
yep.
Today they are still in museums. Today they are still found. Tell me where Luke, Paul, John, Peter, which are fucking American names, please tell me where they buried at right now. Where's their burial site? Where are they? You see what
They
I'm
not
saying? Why are they
they
not in the museum?
they're not. Why would they put them in a museum?
My second question is, where where the fuck were these people going to war, and why were they fighting in the name of God in the Bible? Why were they going? Numbers and Exodus and Deuteronomy is about going and pillaging homes and territories, right? Stealing, killing the firstborn son, right? And also raping women. Tell me, how is all that in vain of God? And people push this narrative and push this book and still say today that this is God's plan. Tell me, what's the
All in
plan?
the name of Christianity. All it was it was a spoiled. I say spoiled, but reality, it was a narcissistic motherfucker that basically was like, "This is what the world needs to be. This is the story. Everybody needs to be on this religion. We can't have this witchcraft, or we can't have all this crazy shit. Like it's God. This is the book. Blah 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 blah." And they keep pushing that shit, bro. And when they keep pushing it, it turned into the fact that it's like, okay, we're gonna have to kill and conquer and take over these people and indoctrinate them into our religion and our social construct and a way of living, right? So like
Yep.
even when they say they went to Africa, right, and they were like, oh, that these people lived in shit huts and this and that, and they were still in the cavemen, or they were still like living like savages, right?
Yep.
And they came and they're like, oh, well, you could have so much of this grand, lavish lifestyle and all this beautiful things. And it's like they said all that, but in reality, that wasn't the truth. What it was is that they didn't realize that the people that they came across were connected to source still. They were living perfectly fine being how they were. They didn't need physical materialistic things. They didn't need the modern day way of living because that didn't serve purpose. That didn't serve what was needed. What was needed was life, survival, peace, harmony, and connection to source, right? And growing spiritually. And that was all they needed. And that's all we ever need. We don't need no more than that. You have the right to a place to lay your head, to sleep, to grow, and to raise a family. Yeah, maybe modern days now we have houses and all this other shit, but reality you could do that in nature, bro. If
Hey,
you
and think
knew what
about it
you were
like this,
doing, you
EJ.
could do that in nature. If you knew what the fuck you were doing, you would be able to survive and build your own little log cabin. You'd be able to do whatever. You could forage and get berries. You would be able to have fresh water. You would be able to go and you fucking get meat if you need it. You can grow your own fruits and vegetables. Ain't nobody telling you shit. And guess what? It's all free because you
And
grew it, because you went
now,
and did it, because
now,
you put the time and effort into something. So it'd be no different than you trying to get a promotion at your job. It'd be no different than you trying to get the new Benz, the new fucking whatever. It's all about the intent and the energy you put behind what the fuck you do, right?
exactly,
So you want to
exactly.
get that. You want to work out. I work out. I want to lose weight. I want to look better. I want to feel more confident, right? So I got to put that work in. It's no different than anything that we do nowadays. It's all about the energy and
Anything you
manipulation
put
behind it.
repetition in, anything you put repetition in, it's automatically gonna have results. This is what people don't understand. It so people don't want to. People are scared of their power. Like I said, if they actually seen a nigga right now walk on water, they'll call him demonic. If they seen a nigga feed a person off 1,000 loaves of feed 1,000 people off one loaf of bread, they'll call him demonic. But my thing is, if they actually read the book, even in the book, the man said that this is nothing compared to what we will be able to do once we know where the kingdom lies, which is in us. You feel what I'm saying? So it's if he's doing that and said that we're gonna even be able to do greater things than that, people really don't know what power they really hold, and that's the problem nowadays. This is why so much we what nobody understands is this world that we have is being materialized, and you could just look at it. You could just look inside of it and see you can't get fruit outside and just walk out and grab fruit. You got to go to a store. You cannot just have good water. You got to drink it from a bottle. You got to buy it. You get what I'm saying? You can't breathe hydrogen. You got to breathe oxygen, which rustifies things. This is why a plant is not green forever. When it falls off from its root, it turns brown and crusty. You feel what I'm saying? If we actually had our true nutrients, there'd be blue motherfuckers on this planet, yellow, red, green, all the chocolate colors will be actually those colors. Proof of it, if you have fake gold on your skin, right?
Yep, I was just about to say that.
It's a chemical reaction for you to turn green, right?
Mhm.
How can your skin turn a color that is not compatible with? You see what I'm saying? It's all alchemy. Everybody don't understand that. It's feminine and masculine principles. And once those come together, you have a divine outcome. You know what I'm saying? This is why if you keep the woman and the man separate, right, which is the government, they're the middle point. If you keep them separate for so long, nothing will happen. No creation, no nothing. A perfect example, you're at the gym, right? And you're with your bros, right? You're going ham. But let that one beautiful girl walk by, you about to, you know what I mean? You about to put a hell of fucking work into that shit. You know what I mean? So this is what people need to do for themselves and wake up is put in that extra work to lift this burden that's been put upon us. How can you be born in sin? Like I even thought the book was dumb because at one point it was like they didn't know. Now a kid nowadays they know right from wrong, right? But if these were this was Adam and Eve being born into the picture, how the fuck did they know what was right from wrong, and why did they get punished for something that they didn't know? That's when I knew something was off. Like, you know what I mean? They absolutely didn't know right from wrong. It period. There's no way you can explain that. You know what I'm saying?
And that's the thing, like so, like the whole thing is too, right? When a baby is born, And this is the same thing. I'm gonna use babies and animals as a prime example of what I'm going to refer to. That right and wrong, right? Good and evil.
I'm here, EJ. I'm about to get a rag real quick, but I'm still here. I'm listening.
So right, so if you have good and evil, people know subconsciously and unconsciously what is good and what is right and what is evil. Now, when you have a baby that's born, they have the ability because they can't speak, but they have the ability to sense a person's intention and their energy. And if they feel scared or frightened by someone, you automatically, as a parent, are like, oh, my kid senses something off of this person. I don't want this person around us, or I don't want this person around my child because clearly my child senses something, and it would be the exact same fucking thing that if you bring a random motherfucker to your house and you have a dog and your dog's like immediately like get the fuck out my house, like on 10 toes type of shit, you're gonna be like, oh, what the fuck's good with this person? Like this is my person. Like I hang out with this person, I know them outside of work, but my dog senses something because they know what's internally going on with that person. They know they can sense it. And the person can put that mask on all day fucking day long, but when you come around an animal that is already connected, just like a child is connected to source still, it hasn't been corrupted or hasn't been manipulated in any way, they're able to see through that.
Right.
They're able to see like the intent, the malice or whatever the fuck it might be towards you. You might not sense it. You're like, oh no, they're cool. Like I fuck with them because a lot of people are disconnected. Like a lot of people don't understand that you can sense when you. I know when I walk in a room, I know who where the eyes are coming from. I know when I walk in a room, I can sense when I look at someone how they're looking at me. If they're trying to figure out what the fuck I'm about, or they're trying to figure me out, or they automatically already have ill will towards me. Remember, I used to tell you that shit, bro. I used to walk in a room like, yo, I feel like all eyes on me like this is going on, and yet people were like, "Oh, you're just paranoid, or you have anxiety." No,
No, you're
no,
breaking the system. It's like a it's literally like a spectrum, right? When something has a certain broadband, like even intercoms or recons, people in the Navy and the Marines, they use the same shit. They have a spectrum brand, right? And it's
yep,
actually going out and it's going out. Soon as something hits inside of that band, right? That's different. They automatically like danger, 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 attack, attack, attack. That's what people are feeling. You feel what I'm saying? They don't even know what it is. If it's vibrating higher or if it's different from what they know, they're gonna try to destroy it. That's just how humans work.
please and thank you. Say it. I'm sorry, bro.
No, you're good,
But
bro. I said it's like a you ever seen those movies, right? Where they're like battleships, for example. Once something invades inside of that band from what's normal, right? They're gonna
yep,
attack it. They're gonna attack it instantly. Whether they know what it is, whether they know what their purpose is, they don't give a fuck. They're just gonna attack it. And this is
yep,
why it's a problem for certain beings to vibrate so high. Because when you vibrate so fucking high, you're crashing the systems, you're crashing the networks, you're crashing what's norm to people. People are comfortable in
being
being lower, in
yeah,
being on a lower process. They are comfortable with that. So when something high comes, they take it as a threat. Just like being intelligent. People do not like
yeah,
intelligent people. When you come around and you're smart and you know something outside of what they know, they can be like, who this nigga think he is? Who did? Even your own people gonna do it.
hey, so it's funny you say that, right? Because it's one of those things. Intelligent is not measured by. So you got to remember, there's different forms of intelligence, right? So there's people that are book smart, people that are good at math, those type of things, right? That's intelligence, okay, of the brain. But when somebody is intelligent through other means, right? So let's say through spirituality, understanding, and with empathy and all these other aspects that makes us who we are. There are people that are so smart and intelligent in that manner that it makes other people that don't realize that, oh yeah, I'm smart, I'm this and that, but then they start hating you, they start being whatever with you, very condescending, they're cut dry, cutthroat, whatever the case may be. They might give you attitude and all this other shit, right? and not
Right. Right.
realize why is because you expose their real self. You expose their true selves that they're trying to hide from everyone else and from themselves, right?
Which is weird because it's their highest format. It's so fucking weird, bro. It's like when you see somebody who's fit and they're
Because they
buff
fear
and they're
the
cut.
unknown, bro. Cause you got to remember, they don't know that. They don't know themselves, so they're afraid of what they don't know. That's why everything that we have that has gone on, people that basically shoot first, ask questions later type of fucking phrasing happens
Yep.
because people are scared of what they don't know.
Yep.
People will not go and move forward towards something that they're not aware of or are uncertain of. So when people say take that leap of faith and just jump, bro, it's all about faith within yourself and faith within the being that dwells within you, which is God, bro, which is your higher self. It's a higher form of oneness with the universe, and that's it. Because you are made out of the universe. You are made of the things that make up this world. So why fear what you are? You know what I
Still there,
mean?
bro?
Yeah, I'm still here.
All right. You said, yeah. Why fear what you are? That's the crazy part, bro. Once the saddest part when it comes to it, and what I pray that everybody gets when the time comes. I hope everybody understands that it's gonna come a point in the time where it's you or them, and if you don't know yourself to the max, you're gonna become them. You know what I mean? We're at a level now where shaking your ass, degrading yourself, treating people bad, or being stuck up above them. There's people who both work 9 to 5s, right? And they
Yep.
both shit on each other like they don't got shit, right? But you really don't got shit because all your money goes towards people and things who take from you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you eliminate money, and this is the sad part, people think because they have degrees or they're in certain criterias that they're better than you. Like you got a degree to be a plumber, right?
Yep.
But you're using plumbing for a system that a house that somebody else owns and that they built. You know what I mean? Now imagine if we had all these architects, right? Imagine they get their degree and they start teaching people. You feel what I'm saying? Imagine they start actually teaching people how to use these skills instead of trying to be like, oh well, I went to college and I put in the work of this and this and this and that. You should have never had to go through all that to learn how to actually give yourself shelter. There's always something that's making you incapable intentionally. And when the
There's
world
always
wakes
a
up and
wall.
realizes
There's a
that,
wall blocking you. That's what it is. There's a wall blocking you from achieving the one thing that you should already have the right to know.
period,
Right? So
hands
you
down.
need to go to school to learn how to build your own home. You got to go to school to learn how to work with electricity. You got to go to school to know how to fucking change your shitter. You need to go to like realistically, bro. Nowadays, nobody needs to go to school. School is the giant biggest Ponzi scheme possible. You
And
create debt. You,
of course, you
bro,
know it's a scam, bro, because they're literally there's people in America who are citizens who are working their hardest, right, to get these degrees, and then there's motherfuckers from out of country who has no degree, they just know how to do it. They bring them over here, give them a house, give them a car, give them a job, give them everything that they need instantly just because they know how to do it. You know what I'm saying? Even there's people come out of other countries and they're automatically able to be a doctor or a surgeon. Meanwhile, your dumb ass sitting here being a citizen, going to school to try to learn this shit. You feel what I'm saying? Just to hit that level. That shit is crazy.
and that's
What
the thing.
really is
So
it?
that's the thing, bro. Like there's one thing that I will say that the best phrasing is that you can't gain experience through a paper and a book. You can't gain experience by just watching and observing. You have
Fact.
to go through some shit to know some shit. And that's at point blank. And I
Fact.
say that to the guys that I work with. You gotta know. You gotta go through some shit to know some shit.
That's the
And
only way.
there's different forms of things that people go through that either they learn from and they gain experience and knowledge and they become stronger for it. And then there's those that go through it and just don't learn a fucking thing.
Not at all. Like at all. Hey, but what's sad is everybody see they're trying to get us all under one world order, one world law, one world religion, one everything, right? And the problem is with that is it causing us to have individualism, and individualism causes us to basically not want to be a part of anything unless we feel that it satisfies us. So everybody, it's like this. Everybody's a peasant towards us if they're not on our level. But they don't understand that this person categorizes in a certain field that's it's natural. You know what I mean? The only purpose that we all can share is taking care of our planet. That's literally if anybody want to have a purpose, a goal, a objective, or a skill, it'd be taking care of our planet. You feel what I'm saying? Hands down. That's what we're supposed to do. That's our duty. That's what we're for. A girl didn't worry. A girl back then in those times, she didn't. Hold on, I'll wait till this plane go by. But
No worries.
a girl at certain times, right? Women didn't care back then about how the fuck you worked and how much money you made or if you could buy a Birkin bag. They actually cared about how you took care of your crop, how you took care of your animals, how you
Yep.
when
Because
there
I
was a
was
hole in the fucking floor, how'd you fucking fix that shit and how you fix it up? How do you protect them when invaders came? That was the shit that made somebody stick with you forever. Now everything is money, bro. Nobody gives a fuck about what someone naturally does. But that's that demiurge. That's where the materialistic comes in, where you gotta impress and please and display and what you can get than what you already got. You feel what I'm saying? Nobody actually loves each other for what they actually got and what they're capable of, what their skill is. And even if they got that and they know that, you have other motherfuckers who want you to put in more or to do more to please them. Meanwhile, nobody is understanding their true place or their position. You know what I'm saying? And this is why we have chaos.
100%. Okay, and the thing is that we're made out of chaos, right? You look at it,
Literally.
if you look at it, the galaxy or the cosmos, whatever, whatever you want to look at it, is the purest form of chaos, right? Because
Right,
there's
right.
nothing you can't predict what might happen next. You can't predict. You can try. You can definitely say, "Oh, we did the math, we did the research on this, and this is going to happen at this time." But lo and behold, you're so hyper focused on the one thing that's actually potentially coming, and you didn't see the thing that's already here.
That was right in front of you. We do, hey bro, we do it all the time. You ever had your cell phone or the remote, right? And you're looking all over for it. You're like, where the fuck is it? Where the fuck is it? And then you stop and that shit's like right there in front of you.
Yep.
This is how fast people can be moving and missing the whole point. Like, it. How can you be grateful and how can somebody have gratitude when they can't even see what you're doing for them? You know what I mean? And they got us. They got this world got us like that. We're so caught up in our own bullshit, right? We
We
can't
can't
take
have
one
our own
moment to
fucking
realize what somebody's doing for us.
100%. We just can't get out of our own way, and it's sad. But the thing is that as more and more people start realizing, and at least taking a knowledge, having the ability to acknowledge the fact that these things are going on, and having the ability to be aware of what's going on, is the beginning stepping stones of change, and it's in the direction of where it's supposed to be going.
And that's
The
why we're
more and
starting these
more
lives, and
people,
that's why we're talking now because who else is talking about this shit? You feel what I'm saying? Like, let's be real. In our generation, nobody gives a fuck about this shit, bro. And that's literally a big process of the problem. Like it's a big gap. That shit that you're always feeling that's missing. That's what this is. And sadly, people got to do drugs or they got to drink alcohol to have these certain conversations, right? Or to tolerate them, right? Because you talk to them sober, they don't know where to start. Straight up, they wouldn't know where to start, and then they don't even remember it after you end up talking about it. That's why I said we gotta purify to clarify. That's the only way it's gonna work. You know what I'm saying? It's
yep.
literally the only option.
And that's the thing too, like where you know, when we start having more of these conversations. So don't get me wrong. There's people that are doing these conversations, but it's more on the lines of like of the mainstream, the more of the mundane bullshit. Like you got Joe Rogan, you got all
Yeah.
these people that are famous, and let's be real, they're part of the system. They're part of the issue. They're part of what goes on, and then you don't really have people that are out here just openly talking about shit that people are afraid to talk about, or that are not are too worried about what other people think. Bro, I don't give a fuck. People don't like the fact that I say certain shit. I don't got a fucking filter, and I don't give a fuck about your feelings. Like, because at the end of the day, your feelings do not matter.
Yeah, it's not
What
about
matters,
it's not
what matters,
about being told in a way that comforts you. That's not how this shit works.
the only thing that fucking matters, and this is genuinely the truth, the only fucking thing that matters is the reality, what is actually going on, and what is going to physically affect you, right?
Yep.
So with those three, things, words cannot affect you. I don't give a fuck about that. It's making me emotional and it's causing me mental issues. Well, motherfucker, then get a control of your emotions. Get a control of your mental health. Get control of the shit that you are lacking. Then the things that other people talk about won't offend you and won't affect you and cause you distress. It's because you're weak and you don't have the ability to hold yourself accountable and be like, okay, why am I feeling this way? Address it.
Yep.
It's
Instead of
not
praying, actually
you
talk
got
to yourself and see what the fuck is going on internally.
exactly because this is the thing, and and this is what I tell the guys that I work with, right? You allow a motherfucker to pull at your heartstring and fuck with your emotions and get you to talk out of pocket or to act out of pocket. Those motherfuckers have won. Those are the people that got control over you because you were weak and you were not willing to be strong enough and be a man and walk away, or to keep your mouth shut and be like, all right, cool, hold that, and just keep it moving. And when I tell them that, they're like, oh shit, you got a good point. I didn't think of that. I didn't think about that. I
How
didn't even
sad
look
is that
into
though,
that.
bro? How sad is that when you think about it though? Like
It
that's
is
how
sad, but
far
it's a grown
off
ass
we
man,
are.
bro.
You know what I'm
Listen,
saying?
these are grown ass men that allow other men to get them in their feelings, and then they want to act all hard and this and that, and they want to fight and all this gang bang shit. Bro, all of these are children that just don't know how to regulate their emotions and realize that when a motherfucker says some shit to them, rather they like it or not, to be like, okay, I hear what you're saying, and I'm gonna let you know this is what it's causing. It's making me feel this way. And then you tell that person, like, I don't give a fuck if it's making you feel that way. Figure it out. Then
Yep.
it could be the other way too, where somebody's like, "All right, I understand that this is how it's making you feel, but this is the reality. You need to have a reality check. You need to have a realization that emotion has no game to play in a world that is a physical one, not an
Especially
emotional one.
material and being manipulated at the same time.
How do you manipulate somebody by you with the emotion, with physical emotion and manipulation of energy and all those other things, bro? There's three ways of doing it. You know, and there's plenty of other ways too, but still, at the end of the day, the main three are right there. Most people do it on a daily basis and don't even realize it. You
Yep.
know,
Yep.
so at the end of the day, like, it's when you start speaking about stuff that makes other people uncomfortable and it's hard to swallow. Then those are the things that need to be fucking said. Those are the things that need to be spoken about. Those are the things that need to be addressed because at the end of the day, ain't no one sitting here talking about, oh, how does that make you feel? Do I look like a fucking therapist nigga? Like, no, I
Right.
your
Nah,
drink.
nah, I get
I'm
you.
the old over here, hold your fucking hand and say it's gonna be okay. No, fuck all that. You have to address your shit and then be like, okay, what can I do to move forward and how I'm gonna do it and move forward. And that's that simple,
The way
right?
you know you're on the right, the way you know you're on the right path of spirituality, and I share this with a lot of people because sadly this shit shouldn't even have a fucking name, but sadly we're so fucking dumbed down. We gotta put a description and a label on everything so people can understand what it is. But
Yep.
when it comes to a point of this, you feel what I'm saying? What we're supposed to do is okay, I can go to church, I can go to anything, right? I'm only forgiven for that day, right? On Sunday. I could do bullshit for the whole rest of my life and fuck shit for the whole rest of my life. Then I'm on my deathbed. As long as I repent, I'm okay. That's retarded, right? That means
It is.
anybody can get to access heaven. But one thing I realized when it came to spirituality, it came to a point where I started viewing things different. I couldn't have fun in the things that everybody think is fun or everybody do. I couldn't do it. I ended up
Because
quitting
it's poison.
smoking. Then I ended up quitting eating meat. I couldn't go to the club. I couldn't go to the bar. I couldn't hang out. There were certain topics I didn't want to talk about because I felt like it was draining my energy. Then I realized, okay, I need isolation. Then when I started hitting isolation, I moved out to a whole nother area by myself. You know what I mean? On my dolly. Now that I'm out here, I'm realizing, damn, like I had so much power, I didn't know how to protect it. And that's what a lot of people don't know. They're just giving it up. That's like we're trained, and if our parents don't teach us it, jobs are going to teach us it, or schools are going to teach us it. You know what I'm saying? But then
Life,
I started
life will
realizing,
teach you it.
yeah, and I started realizing after the isolation phase, now I started tapping into my inner, what are my inner problems. Then I realized, damn, I had trauma. You know what I mean? And it's a lot of people don't even understand that they have these problems. So I'm like, damn, I got trauma. Now how do I start working on trauma? Talking. This is all talking to myself. Oh, start doing more things like grounding. Start Your body literally knows exactly what you need to start doing. You just got to
Mhm.
be more cognitive to hear it out. You know what
Be
I'm
more
saying?
perceptive. Yeah, be more perceptive to it.
It's
And
and
like
that's
and the thing is, bro, like right now as we speak, I like, bro, the sun. Every time we get into a conversation or I start feeling good, bro, the sun pops out and fucking starts shining right on me, bro. And it
you
feels
can
so good.
feel
But this is the thing, like, um, you know, sunbathing or sun gazing is another form of self help. Meditation in all different forms, and a lot of people I think misinterpret meditation. Meditation is not just one form. It could be through things of creating art. It could be from just driving your car around, where you find anything that causes you peace and relaxation, and it brings you a sense of calmness. That is a form of meditation. Um, and then because people always get caught up in the sense of like a yoga and sitting in a fucking mat, crisscross applesauce shit. Bro, that is not that is the very close-minded way of thinking of for meditation. Meditation could be all types of shit, from doing gardening to walking your dog to going outside to the park or just
to
sitting out in the
cleaning your
sun,
house, to sipping some
clean the
tea,
house,
sipping some
whatever.
coffee.
Oh, listening to fucking music and dancing, if that's what you like, whatever that you find that brings you the most joy, the most happiness, and the most peace, and practicing and doing those things that do that, that is a form of self care and self care and meditation. That is a form. It's not the form, but it's one form. And meditation has multiple forms. It has multiple ways of doing it. And then you have what is called grounding, where you stand out in nature. You put your feet in the grass. You put your feet in the sand. You put your feet in the water. Whatever the fuck it is that is connecting to nature. And then like that, remember how I was telling you, they're saying said for a reason. When we were growing up as kids, your parents would tell you, oh, go play out in the dirt. Go play with the
Yep,
dirt.
yep,
Bro, the reason that's said is because that is the as kids playing in the dirt, bro. That was you playing in earth. That was you playing with nature. You were
literally.
grounding yourself. Like when you put your hands, like our hands are natural like receptors, and when you put your hands on the ground, it actually you get grounded.
Yep, your
And
feet too. Your hands and feet are the same as receptors. They're the same thing.
they emit and they receive. And when you're a child and you play in the dirt, bro, you become so happy, so peaceful, so calm because you're releasing all that negative bullshit into the ground. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
why do you think it's called when you're doing electricity, you have the black wire and it's called the ground wire?
Yep.
And it's always the black wire, right?
Yep.
Like, come on. Like they say this shit, they tell you it to your face on a daily basis, and everybody just like, okay, this is normal, this is what it is, and it's like, hello, anybody fucking in there? Like, who's operating this goddamn machine? Who's operating the vessel? Like, if
Is there a
somebody was
toxic
like,
in
we
there?
had that, bro. Like, if you, like I told you yet the last time we had the live, that if you just sat there and kept your mouth shut and you started talking, your mouth ain't moving. So who the fuck is talking?
Exactly. And you can hear those thoughts too. You can hear that voice, whether your mouth is opening or not.
Yep. And you might think that it sounds like the voice that comes out your mouth when you're speaking, but if you actually hone in, it doesn't sound like you. It's close, but it ain't you. It's the
You
person
know,
operating the vessel.
you know what's crazy? When I speak out, right? It's a lot of moments like when you speak out physical, you're like or you have a moment or you stutter, right? But
Yep.
when you're thinking in your head, that
There
shit
ain't
is
that. None of
fluent. There's no mistakes. There's no it's just it's
pure
on it.
intent, pure intent. And that's the thing. Like like just right there, I just fucking stuttered. And I used to stutter real bad when I was younger, bro. Like around my son's age, I was a stutter box, real bad. Um, but even now, like I have to gather my thoughts before I speak because a lot of times I lose my train of thought or I might stumble over my own words and stuff like that, which is fine. But the way I speak and I put the message out there, not a lot of people are going to follow or understand what I'm saying because it's not meant for everyone.
Yeah, isn't it crazy how you could beat your mind, but your mind can beat you at the same time. So like you could be trying to think of something to say, right? But you can end up trying to say it before you even thought of it. But then again, you're thinking of what you're trying to say. Ain't that crazy how that correlates? This is why I keep telling people you're not your body. Your body is a total different thing. Like your spirit inside. When you go to bed, it's like once you put that shit on the charger, you're not using the phone no more. You know what I'm saying? And that's what
Yo,
people got to understand.
yo, so I have to, when I come across it again, I hope I do. There's this company that makes these, they're I don't know. We're gonna say they're like pyramids and like natural crystals and shit like that that you use for basically eliminating EMF radiation, other stuff like that, whatever, and also
Right.
help ground you and this and that, right, bro? I want to get. It's for the bed. It's for the bedroom, and basically it's a fucking pyramid that goes over you make your pyramid. It's an actual pyramid you make, and it's made out of copper tubing and some crystals and some other bullshit and it goes over your bed. So while you're sleeping, you're being grounded, and it's putting off and killing all of the EMF radiation. It's keeping you where you get a peaceful night's rest, where there's no outside influence or anything like that from the cell phone, the TV, your refrigerator, your microwave, all of these things that are
The
in our household,
Wi-Fi.
the Wi-Fi, the 5G routers and towers that are outside in your neighborhood, all of these things, it basically blocks. And I forgot, it's like iPyramid or some shit like that. I'll send you a link so you can check
When you
it out.
find that shit to me, when you find that shit, please send it to me. I
Bro,
definitely
I'm
want
gonna
to see
send it to you because yo, I want to get it so bad, but it costs like 10 bands just for the
it.
fucking
Damn,
thing for the bed.
man,
10 bands, bro.
bro, get the fuck out of
I'm not
here.
even bullshitting you. I want to find out how they're making it, and I want to make it myself. Like, bro, because I go fucking hiking, and I go and collect rocks. Like, I'm not retarded, but I love collecting rocks. You know, I like to say it, make it a little funny and a little humorous, but I do go do that. Like, I got fucking rocks sitting outside right now that I collected that were dope, and then some of them I actually have some natural gemstones. Like, I have a natural quartz crystals that I found on my hikes, bro, and I like doing that.
It ain't nothing wrong with it, bro. You'd be amazed. You'd be amazed what power is held in some of these stones and crystals and rocks that you find that some people
I
just
mean, bro,
overlook. They're not tapped in.
this I'm wearing right now, right? This blocks EMF and EMF radiation. It's sung tight. Ah, fuck. I forgot how to say it. But basically, the material that it's made out of, it blocks those radiation frequencies that our phone emits.
Oh, let me see. I'm just kidding. You know I can't see you because they got you know how this
Uh,
face is to me. But
yeah,
I'll
if
see
I
it
just ask
after.
them
I'll
about it,
see
go,
it
hey,
after.
here you go.
I'll definitely see it after.
You
But
know,
hey, man, look, I ain't gonna hold us too long. We going in. I think we're going in over an hour and some change, 30 minutes. But
damn, all
this is
right.
we gonna keep this road going. What? This our third live?
Yeah, it's our third one.
Yeah, so we got plenty more to go. As always, I'm gonna take the important parts of these topics and I'm gonna upload them on YouTube and TikTok, and I'll tag you in them so you know when it's uploaded and everything. And we just gonna keep putting out this message, man. I think everybody needs to wake up and understand where the power really stores and where the power really lies.
Most definitely, we definitely got to do like a next one of the lives down the road, depending whenever we end up doing it. But I think it would be really cool if we start like doing like an open where people can join in type of deal, like where it's me and you talking, and then if somebody wants to hop in, speak a little bit, and then they hop out, and kind of do it like that, where like we allowed to have somebody hop in, have a little conversation,
Yeah,
they
that's what
hop
I'm
out,
trying to get
somebody,
it to. That's what I'm trying to
you
get
know
it
what I
to. I'm
mean?
trying to get it to where people, if they like the subject or the topic we're on, they can just ask a request and join in, and we just bring
Yeah,
them in, and we just share this topic. We get in there. We just got to keep on going with how we're going, and
100%,
yeah, man, it's
100%,
gonna get better and better.
always. All right, brother. Much
All
love.
right, brother.
Be safe.
You enjoy your day, man. Much love, and I'll be having more topics for us to talk about as always. And if you got anything, write it down. You know what I mean? Till the next
Yeah,
live, and
definitely.
we're gonna get this shit going, bro.
All right.
All right, brother. Much love, man.
Much love, bro. All right.
Peace.
Peace.